Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Humanity returns, and the galaxy can't stop them. The awakening fleet, the darkness of deep space was absolute, broken only by the faint glow of distant stars. Inside the massive generation ship Phoenix, diagnostic lights flickered to life for the first time in over 3 centuries. Captain Maya Shen's cryopod hissed as it opened, a thin cloud of vapor escaping into the air. Her eyes fluttered open, adjusting to the dim blue emergency lighting that bathed the chamber. "Status report," she croaked, her voice raw from centuries of disuse. The ship's AI responded immediately, its voice calm and collected despite the gravity of the situation. "Welcome back, Captain Chen. Date is March 15, 2783. The Phoenix Initiative has reached Phase 3 activation parameters. Fleet status, operational, crew revival commencing." Maya sat up slowly, muscles protesting after their long dormancy. Around her, other pods were beginning to activate, her command staff emerging from their long slumber. She knew exactly what Phase 3 activation meant. The time had come. Humanity was going home. 300 years ago, Earth had fallen. The Satari hegemony, a collective of aggressive alien species, had systematically dismantled human defenses, bombarded major cities, and claimed the Sol system as their own. The survivors, barely 10 million humans, had fled in hastily constructed arcs, scattering across the stars in a desperate bid for survival. But they hadn't just run away, they had a plan. "Show me current scans of the Sol system," Maya ordered as she slipped into her uniform, the material adjusting to her frame as if it had been tailored just moments ago rather than centuries prior. A holographic display materialized before her, showing Earth, still blue and green, but now surrounded by orbital installations bearing the distinctive angular architecture of Satari construction. A blockade of warships hovered in strategic positions throughout the system. "They've fortified well," observed Commander Singh, her second in command, as he joined her at the display. 8 defensive platforms around Earth alone, and what looks like a substantial fleet at the L4 and L5 points. Maya nodded grimly. "They think they own our home. Time to disabuse them of that notion." She turned to face the gathering officers, now 15 strong and growing as more emerged from cryo. "The Phoenix Initiative enters its final phase today. For 3 centuries, our automated factories have been building, our AI networks have been learning, our scattered people have been preparing." The ship shuddered slightly as it decelerated from its tremendous velocity. They were approaching the outer boundary of the Sol system, still hidden behind the bulk of Neptune. "Show the fleet," Maya commanded. The hologram shifted, displaying the vast armada that traveled with them, 500 warships, each built in secret automated shipyards hidden throughout nearby star systems. For centuries, while the remnants of humanity appeared to be merely surviving in scattered colonies, the Phoenix Initiative had been quietly preparing the most formidable fighting force the galaxy had ever seen. "Satari Patrol detecting our approach," reported Lieutenant Park from the sensor station. "They're moving to investigate." Maya smiled thinly. "Perfect, let's introduce ourselves." The Phoenix emerged from Neptune's shadow, its massive form gleaming in the distant sunlight. At nearly 15 km long, it dwarfed even the largest Satari dreadnoughts. Behind it came the fleet, ship after ship dropping out of FTL in a precisely choreographed sequence that spread them across a front 5 light minutes wide. The Satari response was immediate. Alarm signals blasted across subspace frequencies as their patrol craft scrambled to form a defensive line. Larger warships began to break orbit from various positions in the system, converging on the unexpected threat. "They're hailing us," Park announced. "Standard hegemony greeting protocols." "Put them through," Maya ordered, straightening her uniform and facing the central display. The image of a Satari commander appeared, reptilian features set in an expression of wary hostility. "Unidentified vessels, you have entered hegemony space. Identify yourselves immediately and prepare to be boarded for inspection." Maya stepped forward, her posture radiating authority. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Fleet ship Phoenix. You are trespassing in human territory. The Sol system belongs to humanity, and we have returned to reclaim it. The Satari commander's face contorted in what might have been surprise or amusement. It was hard to read alien expressions. Humans, your species was subjugated centuries ago. Your claim is invalid. We were never subjugated, Maya replied evenly. We were momentarily inconvenienced, and now we're back. Before the Satari could respond, Maya cut the transmission with a slashing gesture. Battle stations, deploy the Lazarus systems. Throughout the fleet, weapon systems came online, technology that had been developed in secret over centuries, incorporating not just human innovation but stolen and adapted designs from a dozen alien civilizations. The Lazarus system was humanity's ace, a Neuralink targeting and countermeasure network that could predict and neutralize enemy actions before they were fully executed. The first Satari salvos came quickly, energy weapons and kinetic projectiles streaking across space toward the human fleet. The Lazarus system responded instantaneously, deploying point defense measures with uncanny precision. Not a single shot reached its target. Return fire, Maya ordered calmly. Tactical pattern alpha, let's show them what humanity has learned while we've been away. The human fleet surged forward, weapons blazing. Quantum disruption beams sliced through Satari shields as if they were paper. Gravitic torpedoes warped spacetime around enemy vessels, crushing them from all directions simultaneously. The Phoenix itself unleashed a barrage that annihilated an entire squadron of Satari destroyers in seconds. Captain, Raj reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. The Satari defense grid is falling back. They're calling for reinforcements from Earth orbit. Maya nodded. This was expected. Commence Phase 2, deploy the Ghosts. From the belly of the Phoenix and several other capital ships, smaller vessels emerged, stealth craft equipped with dimensional shift technology that rendered them virtually undetectable. Their mission was to infiltrate Earth's orbital defenses and disable them from within. The battle intensified as the main Satari fleet engaged. Their ships were formidable, the product of a species that had conquered half the galaxy through military might. But they faced something unprecedented, a human force that had spent 3 centuries preparing specifically to defeat them. Incoming transmission, Park announced suddenly. It's from Earth's surface. Maya's heart skipped a beat. Put it through, maximum security protocols. A human face appeared on screen, weathered, determined, bearing the marks of hardship. This is Thomas Rivera, leader of the Earth Resistance. We've detected your fleet. If you're really human, we've been waiting for you. Maya felt a surge of emotion she hadn't expected. There were still humans on Earth, survivors who had hidden, endured, and maintained hope for generation after generation. Mr. Rivera, this is Captain Chen of the Phoenix Initiative. The waiting is over. We're coming home. Across the system, the battle raged on. Human ships moved with devastating coordination, the Lazarus system anticipating and countering every Satari tactic. Ghost ships systematically disabled orbital platforms, creating gaps in the defensive network. And on Earth's surface, dormant resistance cells activated, targeting key Satari installations with carefully planned strikes. On the bridge of the Phoenix, Maya watched as the tactical display showed human forces pushing steadily inward through the system. Jupiter's moons had already been secured. Mars would be next. The Satari are pulling forces from their other territories, Raj reported. They're treating this as a priority 1 threat. As they should, Maya replied. We're not just fighting for Sol. Once Earth is secure, we move on to Phase 4. The implication hung in the air. Phase 4 wasn't just about reclaiming Earth. It was about ensuring humanity would never be threatened again. The Phoenix Initiative had been designed with a clear understanding. In a galaxy of predatory species, humanity needed to establish itself not just as another power, but as a force that others would think twice about challenging. As the battle for the outer planets concluded decisively in humanity's favor, Maya allowed herself a moment of reflection. 3 centuries of planning, building, and waiting were coming to fruition. The scattered remnants of a nearly extinguished species had refused to fade into extinction. Instead, they had transformed their defeat into the foundation for an astonishing return. The Satari were about to learn a lesson that would echo across the galaxy. Humanity was back, and nothing could stop them. The reclamation. The orbital battle for Earth had raged for 72 hours without pause. The space around humanity's home world was now a debris field of broken Satari vessels and disabled defense platforms. On the bridge of the Phoenix, Maya studied the tactical display with the focused intensity that had become her hallmark. "The status of the Ghost teams?" she asked. Commander Singh consulted his data feed. "All primary objectives secured. They've disabled the planetary shield generators and have control of the main orbital defense grid." Maya nodded in satisfaction. "And the ground situation?" "Rivera's resistance has taken control of 3 major Satari administrative centers. The Australian continent is almost entirely in human hands now. Resistance cells in Eurasia and the Americas are rising up but facing heavy opposition." This was the critical phase. The space battle had gone according to plan. The Phoenix Initiative's technological edge had proven decisive. But ground combat was different. The Satari had had centuries to entrench themselves on Earth's surface, and they were notorious for their brutality when cornered. "The Satari Overseer is requesting terms," Lieutenant Park announced, surprise evident in her voice. Maya raised an eyebrow. "They want to negotiate already. Put them through." The main display shifted to show a Satari of higher rank than any they'd communicated with before. The elaborate crest and scale coloration marked it as a member of the ruling caste. "I am High Overseer Kralef of the Satari Hegemony," the alien began, its translator rendering the hissing language into flat, mechanical English. "Your attack on our territory is an act of war that will bring the full might of the hegemony down upon you." Maya leaned forward slightly. "Your occupation of our home world has been an ongoing act of war for 3 centuries, Overseer. We're simply responding in kind." The Satari's inner eyelids flickered, a sign of agitation. "The humans of Earth are now hegemony subjects, protected under our laws. Your bombardment endangers them." "We haven't bombarded anything," Maya replied coolly. "Unlike the Satari, we don't inflict civilian casualties as a tactical choice. Every strike has been precision-targeted against military installations only." The Overseer's posture stiffened. "What do you want?" "Unconditional withdrawal of all Satari forces from the Sol system. Recognition of humanity's sovereign claim to this star system and all its resources. Reparations for 3 centuries of occupation." "Impossible," the Satari hissed. "I am authorized to offer you a designated colony world elsewhere if you withdraw now." Maya actually laughed at this. "You don't understand the situation, Overseer. We're not asking for permission. We're giving you an opportunity to save what remains of your forces here." She gestured, and the tactical display became visible to the Satari. It showed not just the Sol system, but the surrounding sectors, where additional human fleets were now emerging from hiding. "While you've been focused on this battle, we've been systematically liberating every human habitat and colony within 50 light years. We've also made contact with 6 other species previously subjugated by the hegemony. They're very interested in our Lazarus technology." The Overseer's composure cracked visibly. "This is sedition. The hegemony will never." "The hegemony has 24 hours to begin evacuation," Maya interrupted. "After that, we start dismantling your forces ship by ship. Decide." She cut the transmission and turned to her command staff. "They'll try something desperate now. Be ready." She was right. Within hours, the remaining Satari forces launched a coordinated counterattack, focusing all their firepower on the Phoenix. At the same time, ground forces began a scorched earth campaign, destroying infrastructure and targeting civilian populations. "They're trying to make this too costly for us," Raj observed grimly as reports of casualties began flowing in. Maya's expression hardened. "Deploy the Nemesis protocols." This was the contingency they had hoped to avoid, the darkest aspect of the Phoenix Initiative. Throughout the Sol system, dormant weapon platforms suddenly activated, rising from hiding places in asteroid fields and beneath the surfaces of moons. These autonomous systems targeted Satari command and control nodes with horrifying precision, using specialized weapons designed to disrupt their neural networks. Within minutes, the Satari chain of command collapsed. Ships lost coordination. Ground forces found themselves cut off from central control, and panic spread through their ranks. "We've detected a Satari super dreadnought transitioning into the system," Park reported urgently. "It's the Hegemony's Fist, their flagship." Maya's eyes narrowed. "So the Hegemony Council itself has decided to intervene. Good, we can end this faster." The Satari super dreadnought was massive, easily twice the size of the Phoenix, and bristled with weapon systems unlike anything they'd faced so far. It took position near Luna and immediately began deploying a defensive screen. "They're calling for our surrender," Park said. "They claim to have a planet-killer weapon targeted at Earth." The bridge fell silent. This was the scenario they had feared most, the Satari choosing to destroy what they couldn't hold. Maya's voice was steel when she broke the silence. "Connect me with Thomas Rivera on the surface." The resistance leader appeared on screen, his face streaked with dirt and blood, but his eyes clear. "Captain Chen, we're seeing some kind of massive energy buildup from that new ship. They're threatening to destroy the planet." "Mr. Rivera, we need to implement Gaia Protocol immediately." Rivera nodded grimly. "We've prepared for this, giving you control now." Across Earth's surface, in deep bunkers and hidden facilities, ancient systems began to activate. The Phoenix Initiative hadn't just planned for space warfare. They had seeded Earth itself with defensive measures before the original Satari invasion. "Gaia systems online," Lieutenant Park confirmed. "Ready on your command." Maya took a deep breath. "Target the Satari flagship only, execute." From Earth's surface, thousands of energy beams suddenly lanced upward, converging on the Satari super dreadnought. The massive ship's shields flared and failed within seconds, unable to withstand the coordinated assault. Before it could deploy its planet-killer weapon, the flagship of the Hegemony cracked apart like an egg, secondary explosions rippling through its hull. "All Satari forces are in disarray," Raj reported. "We're receiving surrender signals from multiple command nodes." Maya stood, facing the view screen that showed Earth, beautiful and blue, and now on the verge of liberation. "Accept their surrender, secure their weapons, and prepare landing craft. It's time to go home." The reclamation of Earth took 2 more weeks to complete. Some Satari forces fought to the death, but most surrendered when it became clear that the Hegemony had abandoned them. As human forces secured city after city, they discovered something unexpected. Not just human resistance fighters, but entire hidden communities that had maintained their identity and culture through centuries of occupation. On what had once been the plains of Kansas, Maya Chen stepped onto Earth's soil for the first time. She had been born on a colony world, a descendant of the original evacuees. The gravity felt strange, slightly stronger than she was used to, but the air, despite filtration masks they wore as a precaution, smelled somehow right. Thomas Rivera met her at the landing site, along with representatives from resistance groups around the world. The old fighter looked both exhausted and exhilarated. 300 years, he said simply, extending his hand. For 300 years, we told our children that someday humanity would return from the stars. Most thought it was just a story to keep hope alive. Maya clasped his hand firmly. It was never just a story. The Phoenix Initiative always had a single purpose, to ensure humanity's survival and return. As they walked toward a makeshift command center, Rivera gestured at the surrounding landscape. "What happens now? The Satari destroyed so much." "Now we rebuild," Maya said with quiet confidence. "Not just Earth, but humanity's place in the galaxy. The Hegemony is already fracturing. Our intelligence suggests at least 3 other subjugated species have launched their own liberation efforts." She looked up at the sky, where the stars were just becoming visible as dusk fell. "The Satari thought they had extinguished us. Instead, they forced us to become stronger, more determined, more innovative. They scattered us across dozens of worlds, thinking it would dilute our identity. Instead, it gave us